This is a quick, simple video of the treehouse that I made for my kids. We live pretty close to the ocean, so space is kind of a factor. But in our backyard, we had one corner of the yard which we could use for something, and the kids wanted a treehouse, so I did something very simple. But I wanted to just do a quick video to just kind of look at some of the materials in case anybody else is interested in doing a treehouse like this. I wanted to do as little work as possible, so I used 8-foot and 12-foot boards, and didn't even have to really cut them much. The treehouse itself is simply using 8x4 dimensions, so I just used those the plywood, 8x4 plywood. And I did, let's take a little walk up here. I put a whirlpool underneath it. We have this spa underneath. And I went ahead and put some 4x6s, 4 of them, in the ground. And then I put some 2x4s that are 12 feet long. I angled them. You can see this is a better angle. I angled them out so that we could come up with a balcony that would be big enough to get out on. I planted 4 trees, one coming up at each corner and through each corner. But basically what you have is just an 8x8x8x8 all the way around. And then you've got 12 feet by 12 feet for both the roof as well as the floor. So if you want to take a look at these 4x6s, I simply planted them in 3.5 feet of concrete. I threw a little rebar in there. I've got some lag bolts in there. But in each direction, I simply angled out these 2x4s. And I only basically built one balcony out here so I can see my kids from every angle of the pool area. But at some point I might go ahead and wrap that around and build that around. Put palm trees up through the back. And I'll take a quick little run up here so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Before I do that, I just wanted to point out that I built this particular ladder so that the kids can't slip through, and I angled these steps so that a kid really has to lean all the way forward in order to be able to walk up into this. So when they walk up into the treehouse, they walk up into a cage basically. Cage that they can't get out of. So the only way in is through this entranceway. And in here again you have your 8x8 space. I put a little toy in here for the kids. I put a few chairs. On one side this is only about 4 feet high, and on the other side it's tall enough for a man to stand. It's 7 feet high. But it's really quite a simple design. I simply put a circle here for the kids to go in and out of the balcony with a couple windows. And every 16 inches I have a 2x4 that goes up to the roof line. And I have the 2x4s that are 12 feet long again, and those I used for the roof. I have just 2x4 decking that was 12 feet long for the floor, all tacked down with stainless steel 3-inch screws. For the roof I did polycarbonate. I did wood on either side for about 2 feet on either side inside here. And then there's 4 feet of just nothing but polycarbonate with the skeleton wood frame, so you can see the stars, see the trees, etc. But it is Florida, so I didn't want to just burn up in here with the sun. I wanted to have shade, so I had 2 feet on either side, and there's 2 feet out there as well. I just have 1 sheet of 8x4 going across this side, 1 sheet of 8x4 going across that side, and cut the 3rd sheet of 8x4 plywood and put it in here. And then put polycarbonate across both the plywood as well as just the skeleton frame. This is simply lattice, an 8x4 lattice, which is, it's made of plastic. This was the first deck that we built. It's all built to code. You just have to have these slats less than 4 inches wide. So I just used a 2x4, and that's 3.5 inches basically. So spaced it out that way. But that's what it looks like from the inside. Again, the spacing, materials, I can make a list of all the materials that were used, but it's a very simple design. I did it just by myself. It took me probably 3 weekends, with the staining being the last weekend. So I actually love the design, and hopefully this will give you some ideas for a treehouse. Good luck.